Hey, this is Chris. I'm building a bus called Running Bear. I'm almost done, just doing some trim pieces really, and some paint and the floor. So I'm going to answer your question about the 50 amp hookup with 2 rooftop ACs, which is what I decided to do. So here's the AC I have here, and I have 2 of these. There's one in the front and one in the back because it's so long. I really only needed one. The front does get pretty hot, so the one in the back is nice here as well. I just finished the cedar here and the skylight. So there's not a lot of videos for this specifically. This is my setup here for my electrical. And I drew a diagram here because it can be very confusing. So you can screenshot this, of course. Now, just to try to explain this, this is your breaker box here, which I'm going to show you the inside of mine. It's, there's 4 different hookups. You have your ground or negative, which is going to be white. It's going to be white. You have 2 positives, black and red, and your ground, which is your copper. Okay, so in a normal 30 amp hookup, you only have 1 positive, and everything will be fed from the same one. This one has 2, so this one, and this one, the breakers, which is 6, are fed through the first one, and this one, and there's another one, would be fed through the second one. So you have your power in, your 50 amp power plug, which you can get on Amazon, 20 bucks, 50 amp. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 wires, again, red, black are hot, white is neutral, and bare copper is ground. They all get screwed into the side of the bus, come up through here. This is something extra here, but come up through here. To keep things simple, you do your white here to your negative, the first positive, second positive, doesn't matter which one, and your bare copper to ground. So you have a power plug, you have your 4 different colors, and go to these 1, 2, 3, 4 different things. So the first AC, which I have, you have the easiest thing is negative to negative, ground to ground. So the white is going to go to the white in here. The ground is going to go to the ground. Okay, now you have your positive. It's going to go to this is a 12 gauge yellow wire. Now because it's AC, you don't have to worry about really the length for something this short, and that's going to go to your positive pole on one of these breakers. So you wouldn't want to have one here and one here, because that'd be on the same pole. You want to have one here and maybe one here or here. These go like a ladder, but it only connects on one side. This one connects just on this side. So you have basically black to black, unless one of these is red. So that's your hot. So the other one's going to be the same thing, negative to negative. This would come over to here, ground to ground to the ground bar. And then with the 12 gauge yellow wire, you have your positive, which is black, coming to the other pole. Not on the same side, or it can be on the same side. It just has to, you have to watch where these go. So I'll show you, I marked mine. So also you have a 6/4 gauge wire that is coming up from your power plug. You can use the shortest possible wire. So I'll show you my box here. This is my closet, and I have this little divider here that I made. I do have an inverter, but you're not asking about that. So I took these screws off, so this can pop right off. This is all live, so you don't want to touch anything. So you can see, here's my 2 power in. So there's actually not red and black. They're just both black. I mean, this is pretty heavy duty stuff. So here's from the outside of the bus. This is white, which is our ground, and this is the white bar. Okay, which is not ground, common. I'm sorry, negative or common. This is positive 1, positive 2, and then all of your bare copper is just bare copper. So you can see the bare copper from outside is actually more copper. It's thicker anyway. So 1 and 2, red and black, whatever, black and black. Now you have to watch. You'll see here, number 2 here is feeding these two. This one here is going to these, to number 1. This one's going number 2, and this one's going number 1. So it gets a little confusing there, but if you look here, you can see this one is hot. It's going to be coming to this one. Okay, so you have my rear AC, my front AC. Front AC goes to here, front AC, which is the same as this. And then the rear AC goes to here, which is this one, which goes to here. So front AC goes to this one, rear AC goes to this one. And yeah, as I explained, white to white, copper to copper, black goes to your breakers. These are both 20 amps. Now, interesting enough, these ones from Rec Pro, you can run them both with a 30 amp. After I tried it out, it worked just fine. Obviously, you don't want to run too much other stuff, but you can run a hair dryer and both these Rec Pros with a 30 amp. If I had my dogs in there, I'd probably just run the one because I don't want them to die. Yeah, I had no problem with that. So this was definitely overkill. But this doesn't cost much more. I mean, over-engineered. The most important thing, I think, is if you don't know what you're doing, you're really concerned, don't hook it up to power, wire everything up, and then have somebody come and inspect it. You can also direct message me or contact me on Facebook. Some other interesting things that I did here is I have something called an automatic transfer switch here. So if I have a 30 amp generator and I run it just to my front AC, then I can't use my rear AC without rewiring it. So with a generator, I have an automatic push button start under my bus, and I can push a button while I'm driving. It'll turn on. I also have a fun light that turns on when the generator's powered up, when I have power. Yeah, this is a 120 volt light there. I don't know if you can tell, it's on right now. And so when the bus is plugged in or I have power from my generator, it'll turn on. So my generator runs the front AC and everything else, my inverter. It'll run my plugs. And the only thing that's on the other pole is this rear AC. So you have to have an automatic transfer switch or you'll fry your generator. The generator is not meant to be turned on and have full power to an air conditioner. So unless everything's off, you turn your generator on and then turn everything on every time. This is needed. I got mine for $25 from Facebook Marketplace. I got so much stuff from Facebook Marketplace. I only got ripped off a couple times in my life, really. So it's just like anything else. You have to just be careful. So 30 amp generator, negative to negative, ground to ground, but the positive goes through this automatic transfer switch. What happens is it's automatically set to have it go through the shore power, but when it notices power from the generator to this pole, it'll give it about 30 to 45 seconds, and that switch will switch over from here to here, and it'll go automatically feed off the 30 amp generator. So your generator has time to warm up, and then you'll have power from here to whatever pole you want. And like I said, all my stuff is on one pole. 30 amp is really all you need. And unless you're running a microwave or something, or a coffee maker uses a lot of wattage, but you can run your generator to here to run one of your air conditioners. So now you ask yourself, well, what if I'm boondocking? This is what I'm setting my bus up to do, and I want to run my rear AC because it's hot in the day. I have my front AC running, but I want to sleep with my rear AC on, but I don't want to rewire my bus every time. So I'm glad you asked. I have this cam switch. So this is a manual switch I'm going to mount, and has a 102, and I don't think it's open. No, it's not open right now, but basically I can have this in line with my two ACs here, and so I can have power going from this breaker, the front AC. It's going to be set up to go off of this breaker, but I can also switch it to go to the other breaker. So power can actually go from that breaker to here. So it's a little bit more confusing, and I wouldn't recommend doing it unless you really spend some time to figure it out. But I'll be able to run my front AC or my rear AC off the 30 amp. And every time I think about it, it's confusing to me, but I did figure it out. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. Sorry, this is a long video, but it kind of needs to be. And the other thing I was going to ask was, yeah, make sure your wire is short as possible. Make sure you have an electrician inspected for you. And the difference between AC and DC, the real problem is everything that's black here will kill you. It's because it's this is obviously AC, and then everything that's down here, the red, is hot here. So what I did is all my fuses, everything that's black is hot. So it's not normal that way for DC, but that will kill you. That won't. So I made everything that's black hot. I also have a relay for my water pump, so I can turn it on and off from the front. So that worked out pretty well.